He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, it brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Wednesday, wherever you are. And indeed, I hope that you're ready for today's story. How are you doing today? And of course, good to see you. You're already here today. Sarah and Nathan, appreciate you. Amanda West, good morning to you. Catherine to Hell, how are you doing as well? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Yes, welcome back. Another great story awaits. And yes, thankful to be here with you all today, this morning, ready to share a wonderful story coming to us from Brendan Wenzel. And this one is coming to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. And I was actually looking back. This one hasn't been back to Storytime in over a year. It's a long time for such a good book to stay away, but we're back today. It is here. A Stone Sat Still. This one coming to you from Brendan Wenzel and coming to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco as well. A beautiful one indeed. And one to enjoy all of us today. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Please, as always, let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. Absolute pleasure to be here with you. Thank you. And indeed, thank you for all the messages to everybody that's gotten in touch and to everybody too that has joined in on all our readings. We thank you, and of course, please let us know that you were there so we can say hi to you as well. Thank you so much. And remember, you can always find Storytime live right here, 7 a.m. Pacific time. You can also find us at 11 a.m. for the recording, 11 a.m. Pacific time, as well as at any time you please, any time of your convenience. At Storytime with Mr. Limada on Facebook and YouTube, as well as StorytimeWithMrLimada.com. Thank you so much for joining in today. Let us see who is with us this morning. Yes, joining us together with Sarah and Amanda and of course Nathan. Thank you so much for joining us today out in Pleasant and what else is it? Blue Sky and Pleasant, Illinois. Thank you so much for joining in today, Sarah and Nathan. Thank you for being here. And of course, Amanda, appreciate you as well. Amanda West, thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully, that day carries on and the rest of the week continues to be pleasant. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Good morning to you out in sunny Virginia today. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Appreciations. And I hope indeed that you are having a lovely start to your school year. And indeed, just a lovely year all around. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Oh, it is also sunny out in Seattle today. Thank you so much for joining us. Baby Mia and Amanda, thank you. Good morning to you. And you say, hi, friends. Hi, everybody out there. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining in. And thank you for bringing in your energy, appreciations. Thank you. Good morning to you, Doreen. How are you doing out in El Salvador? Rainy season. Thank you so much for sharing. Isn't it amazing? This our planet, our beautiful planet, and all the different things that it offers us. And you can see one side is rainy, another side is sunny. Out here in Oakland, it is still cloudy, morning fog, and oh beautiful. And we can see Pleasant in Illinois. Oh, love it. And of course, I think this goes very well with our book for today. A stone sat still. And yes, as you know, Brendan Wenzel is the king of perspective. Let us read this one together and enjoy. And also just makes me a little bit, just nostalgic of some of the things that some of the places I've visited, some of the things I've done, and so hopefully for you too it brings up good feelings today. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Good morning to you, Soraya. How are you today? Out right here in Oakland, and of course Sharon Lungo. Thank you so much for joining us on Story Time today. Appreciate you, and I'm glad that you are here with us. Let's get ready, get comfortable, get cozy for our story for today. Yes, did you forget to get your snack? Go now, grab it quickly and come back, and we can sit still together and read this wonderful book. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Brendan Wenzel bringing us this one, and of course Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Get ready, get comfortable, get cozy. Yes, there's a beautiful stone to sit still on. Join me on the other side of this short break. Thank you so much for being here today on Story Time. Appreciate you highly, and I hope that indeed you do have a wonderful day. But before then, we have Story Time together.
Hi, my name is Zetta Elliott, and I am the author of 40 books for kids, including Dragons in a Bag and A Place Inside of Me. You're watching Storytime with Mr. LaMotta.
Thank you indeed for joining in Storytime. Zetta Elliott, the amazing. And if you've not checked out Zetta Elliott's books, please do, including many wonderful books, indeed poetry and also early chapter books. So for those of you who love a good early chapter book, The Witch's Apprentice is out right now. Indeed, it is her third in the series of the Dragons in a Bag series. Check out those ones. Thank you so much for joining in today. And Zetta, she's put out so much great material and continues to put out great material. So probably there's another one that is out soon. And just keep your ears open. Just keep glued to Story Time, and we'll find out what's happening, Zetta Elliott. All right, here we go. A Stone Sat Still. This one coming to you, written and illustrated, of course, by Brendan Wenzel. And of course, as you know, author of They All Saw a Cat, or you remember Hello, and many others. So yes, indeed, bringing us this one today, of course, in conjunction with Chronicle Books of San Francisco. A big thank you to them for allowing us to share this book right here on Storytime today. And of course, many other times. Thank you. Here we go. All right. Oh, that's one of the things, just beautiful illustrations in this. Look at that. A Stone Sat Still. Written and illustrated by Brendan Wenzel. Published and read with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. A stone sat still, with the water, grass, and dirt, and it was as it was where it was in the world. A stone sat still, with the water, grass, and dirt, and it was as it was where it was in the world. A stone sat still. And the stone was dark. Ooh. And the stone was dark. Well, that same stone was bright, and the stone was bright. And the stone was loud. Good morning, Marietta and Henry. Good morning, Chrissy. And the stone was loud. And the stone was quiet. And the stone was quiet. And it sat where it sat with the water, grass, and dirt. And it was as it was where it was in the world. And it sat where it sat with the water, grass, and dirt. And it was as it was where it was in the world. Yes. And the stone was rough. And the stone was smooth. And the stone was rough. And the stone was smooth. And the stone was green, red, purple, and blue. And the stone was green, red, purple, and blue. Well, and the stone was a pebble. Oh. What is that animal? Can you tell? And the stone was a pebble. And the stone was a hill. Oh my. And the stone was a hill. And the stone was a field. And the stone was a smell. Oh, it smells pleasant, at least to me. And the stone was a field. And the stone was a smell. And it sat where it sat with the water, grass, and dirt. And it was as it was where it was in the world. And it sat where it sat with the water, grass, and dirt. And it was as it was where it was in the world. And the stone was the wild. And the stone was a home. Oh. And the stone was the wild. And the stone was a home. And the stone was a kitchen. And the stone was a throne. Oh my. Oh, your majesty. And the stone was a kitchen. And the stone was a throne. Who's that on the throne? And the stone was a marker. Oh yeah. It was a map. The stone was a marker, a map, and a maze. Can you find your way out of that maze? The stone was a marker, a map, and a maze. A danger, a haven, a story, a stage. That stone was a danger, prowling, watching, a haven, a story, and a stage. Oh. And the stone was a blink, and the stone was an age. Oh yes. And the stone was a blink, and the stone was an age. Yeah. And the stone was an island, and the stone was a wave. And the stone was an island, and the stone was a wave. Oh, look at that. Such beautiful illustrations. And the stone was a memory. And the stone was a memory. And the stone was always. And the stone was always. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. Have you ever known such a place? Yeah. Have you ever known such a place? Such a place of wonder, such a place of learning, a place of shelter, a place of danger. A heaven, a stage. Have you ever known such a place? Where, with water and grass and dirt. Have you ever known such a place? Where, with water, grass, and dirt. A stone Sit still. Have you ever known such a place? Where with water, grass, and dirt, a stone sat. A stone sits still in the world. And that is the end. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate you. I hope you got to enjoy this one. It is indeed a beautiful one. A stone sat still. This one coming to you from Brendan Wenzel and Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I hope you enjoyed it. I can see lots of people enjoyed it out there, but we're back on the other side of this very short break. Join me on the other side. Thank you for being here today.
Hola, my name is Shamile Sayed Mendez, and I am the author of Where Are You From, Furia, and many other books for young readers. You're watching Story Time with Mr. Limara.
Thank you so much for joining in one more time. A stone sat still. This one coming to you from Brendan Wenzel and written and illustrated by Brendan Wenzel, and of course read with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. It is indeed a favorite, and hopefully this time we'll bring it back to Storytime sooner than over a year. It has been a long time indeed since this one has been to Storytime. A beautiful one. I don't know why we haven't brought it back, but definitely believe me when I say this one will be back a lot sooner this time. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you indeed. Catherine, you say, love it. It is going to make a great gift. It is indeed a beautiful book. Just so beautiful. I enjoyed it so much, and I'm glad to see others too are enjoying it out there. And Marietta and Henry, you're saying yes. This book sparks so many conversations with kiddos. Our favorite spread is the one with the little snake curled up on the stone. Oh, please. Yes, I love that part as well. And so many little things that just come up, and I appreciate you sharing that one. What is it that you talk about? What is it that it brings up? Why that particular spread? Thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely love it. Thank you. Oh, you are very welcome, Amanda. And of course, baby Bia, thank you. Fantastic story and beautiful illustrations to start our day, isn't it? Please, if you have it at home, go through it again, because I know sometimes the camera doesn't do it justice. Look at it at home, enjoy it, like it says in here too. You know, the book, this time it's the book. It's a feel. It's everything. It's a stage. It's all the beautiful things. So please get this book. Find it where you find books. Use your local libraries and indeed get to read it at home and enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining in. Chrissy Mitchell Adams, and of course, Borden, thank you so much for joining us today. We have missed you. Good to see you here on Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. Love to you, and thank you for being here. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful time out there in Vermont. Thank you so much. And indeed, one more time again, thank you for showing us around all the cool spots in Vermont. Thank you indeed for being here today. Thank you. Yes. Marietta and Henry say one of our most favorite books. Love. Yes, indeed. This one is a beloved one for sure. A favorite in on many bookshelves and many classrooms, but I hope that too indeed you do have it at home, or indeed you can find it at your local library and get to enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Brendan Wenzel, of course, just out of this world. Another one that is a favorite of mine, and of course the author too, a dear friend. This one will be coming to you from John Light Jr., and this one is called My Mother's Wildest Dreams, and this one will be coming to you tomorrow. It is illustrated by Monica Mikai. As you can see the familiar illustrations, please join me tomorrow for more story time and get to enjoy this lovely, powerful book indeed, coming to you from John Light Jr. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Always a pleasure to be here with you. I always feel uplifted when I'm leaving here. Thank you. It is all thanks to all of you wonderful people of this community that is Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. appreciations, hugs, hugs, hugs. Thank you so much. Indeed, Soraya, thank you for joining in today. I hope indeed that you do have a lovely day. Sharon Lungo, thank you for joining us on Storytime today. Appreciations to you. Doreen out in El Salvador, thank you so much for joining us on Storytime, and hopefully see you soon. But thank you indeed. Have a wonderful time today. In this rainy season, I hope you're finding ways to stay dry, or maybe you like to run in the rain every now and then. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. In sunny Virginia, thank you so much for joining in. Catherine Duhel, absolutely appreciate you. And of course, out in pleasant and blue-skied Illinois today, thank you for being here. Sarah and Nathan, and of course Amanda West, appreciate you. Thank you for joining us on Storytime. And out in sunny Seattle, Baby Bia and Amanda Waltman, thank you for being here on Storytime. Appreciations to you, and definitely, hopefully see you tomorrow again for more Storytime. Lovely day to all of you. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Catherine. Appreciations. A wonderful day right at yourself too. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Please join me tomorrow for another exciting story as we bring back this one, My Mother's Wildest Dreams. This one coming to you from John Light Jr. and illustrations by Monica Mikai. And it is published by They Lived Happily Ever After Press. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope to see you again tomorrow for more story time. Today, I just hope that, as our book has taught us today, there's many perspectives, many angles, many things to look at. And as we're going out there, let us consider all those different angles as we go into the world, and indeed give that person, the next person, a little more room to just listen to what they have to say. And indeed, and maybe then we can chime in and share our part. But thank you indeed for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. I hope that indeed you do find that space today, that where you can sit still, that place that takes you to the edge, that place that brings all the excitement, that place indeed that you find love, that place that you find hugs. Yes, you find that place, that beautiful place today that will make you feel good for being you. Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. And please have a wonderful day. I will see you again tomorrow for more Storytime. Much love and bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. He brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. He brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.